You differentiated though. The bands that you mentioned, so the Stones and Kiss, and Rod Stewart, you differentiated rock, disco, and disco rock, rock
Right.
slash disco.
So rock disco, like those bands, is a natural phenomenon, as I described. Disco rock is a little more of a novelty, where you're trying to turn Stairway to Heaven into a disco song, right? Or like a T-Rex song and turn it into a
Yeah.
disco song. So it would have more energy than your typical disco song, but it it's it's still disco,
Yeah.
right? Because it's still a producer. It's still coming from producers. It's not
Yeah.
coming from artists.
Yeah.
I think that's the key part. Yeah.
But yeah, on the West Coast, similarly, I mean, there's this artist Prince that opened up for the Rolling Stones, and he was not accepted at all when they played at the Coliseum. He got booed off the stage. They just audiences were not. I don't know what what it was, but I feel like it was they just weren't ready for something.
Yeah. Well, the West Coast
Prince-like.
West Coast was a little slower on a lot of that kind of stuff, for sure.
Yeah.
I remember being blown away going to LA in the like mid 80s and everyone's still dropping N bombs, while they're talking.
Yeah.
So that's like a very different kind of, I think that I give Los Angeles a lot of credit for how far it's come. But that was kind of ugly, that kind of like white rock person world
Yeah.
was not a pretty sight.
Yeah. I mean, Mick went to the clubs. He was absorbing all this music, and he's like, "Here's someone who's cool. I think if you like the Rolling Stones, you're gonna like this guy." And
Yeah.
it just did not happen at that time.
Yeah, well, yeah, because it was too ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
And
That's Mick.
Stones have always been way ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
I mean, people can say whatever they want to about the Rolling Stones. The Rolling Stones were always ahead of the curve. They were they were a black group in 1963. They were, or at least thought they were. So that's a whole different and more positive, if you ask me, a much more positive version too. But Kiss were not paying attention to black music per se, but they were into what was hip, right? So there's that element to it too. It's just like,
Yeah, Gene was
you just think it's cool. I mean, there's nothing wrong with like hearing a song, thinking it's cool, and wanted to write a song like that.
Yeah.
And that's what happened. That's what when rock met disco is.
Yeah.